And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome everybody to the stream. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing the top 5 safe or safest CS2 investments that you can currently purchase at the moment. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of background about what it means to be a safe investment versus a non-safe investment, why these investments are safer than other investments, and obviously the risks involved, because everything has risk. Even these safe investments are not 100% foolproof. There's always that 1% or even less than 1% chance that something does go wrong and you do lose money in them. So I just want to preface that by saying there's no such thing as a 100% safe investment. There's risk in anything you do and anything you invest in. So yeah, get ready for that. Is this pre-recorded? No, we are live right now, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get started. Okay, top 5 safest CS2 investments. So what does it mean? What does it mean to be safe? To be a safe investment? So when I think of a safe investment in CS2, I think of basically a couple of things. I think of something that is discontinued. That's definitely something to consider. Apart from being discontinued, limited supply. That sort of ties into discontinued, but something that has a limited supply or a shrinking supply is something that I attribute something that is safe, right? Something that cannot be inflated. You can't just turn the money printer and start printing out new items. You can't just add new items to the game. They're gone for good. They're discontinued. They were limited. That's what I think of when it comes to safety. Another thing is stable demand. And that's actually very important, because just because something has a low shrinking supply doesn't always mean that demand is going to be high, that people are going to want that item. So as an investor, you have to invest in items that have a shrinking supply, a low supply, scarce, right? But you have to invest in items that people want, that there's demand. You got to fulfill that demand. You have to sell your investments to other people to lock in the profit. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. And I am going to read the chat. I see you guys chatting. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you guys like the stream if you find value from this content. Please, guys, do me a favor. Can we hit 100 likes? That would be very, very nice. We got Angie in the chat. Welcome, Angie. Rom, welcome to the stream. How was your New Year's? Yeah, happy New Year's, guys. I'll chat a little bit at the end of the VOD here, at the end of the live stream. I just want to get through some of the content here for those of you watching after the fact. With that in mind, when I say stable demand, guys, I'm talking about something that basically what it means is newer items or newer updates cannot or are unlikely to affect the demand for the item, or if I can't use the word demand, I'll say the appeal for the item. So what do I mean by that? I'll give you guys a perfect example. For the past 10 years or so, ever since Cato 14, we had different bordered stickers. We had different sticker designs. We had Berlin, we had Boston, we had Atlanta, we had tons of different shapes and sizes of stickers, right? And Cato 14 was the first, right? First of its kind, borderless, just the logo, and then the team text below it, right? Without anything else, no unique shapes, no designs, no nothing, right? It was the first of its kind, it was rare, it was scarce, nobody invested in it, low supply, all the makings of a really good item, right? And then we had a bunch of majors back to back of different designs, squares, rectangles, circles, everything in between, all different shapes and sizes, right? And then, all of a sudden, we got Stockholm 2021. And that was supposed to be the Cato killer. That was supposed to be the investment that came in and, it made Cato 14 obsolete. It ruined the demand. We have identical stickers, blah, 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 blah. Well, to its credit, Stockholm rose significantly in value. It went up hundreds and thousands of percent. You could have picked up a sticker for $1 and you could sell it for $80, $100. You could have made an insane amount of profit. So credit to Stockholm, it was a great, great major. But the problem with Stockholm was that after Stockholm came Antwerp. And Antwerp had the same design as Stockholm. And then after Antwerp, it came, what else did it come? It came Paris, and then obviously Copenhagen, and now Shanghai. And basically, the stable demand for Stockholm, it fell off. There's no stable demand there. You're basically getting flooded with the same identical looking stickers. Yes, the supply is shrinking and it is a low supply, and Stockholm, I think, is kind of undervalued here, but the problem is the demand got shocked. Nobody wants to buy Stockholm or any of these newer borderless stickers because Valve just keeps giving us the same stickers, the same design stickers, right? So that's what I mean by something that is discontinued, that has a limited supply, Stockholm, but it doesn't have that stable demand because future major stickers, like in Austin this upcoming year or in Budapest later in this year, when new stickers come out, it will affect the demand of Stockholm because of that uncertainty, because of, Valve giving us these same, copy pasta type stickers. So that's what I mean by something that has stable demand. Hopefully you guys understand the nuance, right? The differences between that. Like, Stockholm is great on all bullet points, except it doesn't have stable demand. And the stable demand is directly tied to what Valve does in the future. Is Valve going to add another borderless major? The more they add, just the weaker the demand is for Stockholm. It just doesn't make sense, right? And I don't want to turn this stream into like a Stockholm versus Antwerp versus Copenhagen type stream. I'm not here to like debate which major is the best and all. I just wanted to give you guys a good example of what I mean by something that has stable demand. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys understood that, right? So when I think of like what it means to be a safe investment, I think of something that is 100% discontinued. It has a shrinking limited supply, and it has stable demand that is going to be always be there no matter what. Now, obviously, there's going to be fluctuations, right? However, when I say stable demand, I'm talking about something that doesn't fluctuate nearly as much as like newer items. So for example, Stockholm dropped like 40%, if not 50, maybe even 60, 70% when Antwerp came out, right? Cato 14, on the other hand, did not drop 40, 50, 60, 70%. Like, like, to me, it's like physically impossible. I can't even imagine Cato stickers or capsules dropping 50%, 80% in value. However, Copenhagen or Antwerp, Antwerp and Stockholm are great examples. When Paris came out, they dropped precipitously. They dropped 60, 80% because they didn't have stable demand like Cato 14 does. Cato 14 being the first of its kind, super low supply. It's been in the game for such a long time, over many years. People love that, have high demand for it, and it's stable no matter what new major comes out. Borderless, non-borderless, it doesn't matter. Cato 14 is king, first mover advantage, sort of like Bitcoin, if you will. Anyways, I've ranted on long enough. You guys get the point. So that's what it means, in my opinion, to be a safe investment, right? And now it just comes to us as investors to search the market and to find the items that fit this criteria. And I'm sure many of you guys can already guess the top 5, but I'm just going to go ahead and start listing out some top 5 items. So we're gonna do all 5, and I'm sure there's more. And at the end, I'm gonna let you guys do a little bit of Q&A, and you guys can help me out, and if I miss something or if you have anything to add to this list. But we're gonna start with number 5, and number 5 is, and again, this is ranked in terms of like the number 1 safest investment, number 2 safest investment, and number 3 safest investment, 4 and 5. So in my opinion, in my humble opinion, the fifth thing that is safe, right, are discontinued. Remember, I'm using the word discontinued, right? Discontinued operation cases. Think of Riptide cases. Think of Broken Fang cases. Think of Shattered Web cases. Those are 5 in terms of safety. There's a 99.9% chance that the supply just keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. The demand can either be stable, maybe it drops a little, maybe it goes up a little, depending on, what's in season at the moment, what people are opening, but generally speaking, it fits most of the, pretty much all the criteria. Like, yeah, you could argue more and more operations could, like, make the demand less stable. I get it. That being said, we don't get operations every year. Sometimes we have gap years. We have, like, 2 or 3 years where we don't have operations. We don't know when the next operation will be. We don't know when these events occur. It's not on a fixed time schedule like a major where you expect a start and an end date. You don't have that reliability. And because of that, I think that they are pretty safe investments for all 3 of this criteria. And yeah, cases are pretty good. My only concern, and that's why I put cases as number 5, is because there is that 1% chance, that is that tiny little percent chance, in the future, maybe in 2035, 10 years from now, I don't know, the supply of Riptide cases reaches near zero, like absolute pretty much zero, where Valve may be forced to inflate the supply by adding it to the rare pool. There's always the chance with cases that they could, for whatever reason, reintroduce this as a rare drop, as a, like, tough to get drop, but they could still make it inflationary. Right now, cases that are discontinued, meaning they no longer drop, like Operation Riptide, Broken Fang, and the other one, Shattered Web, they are deflationary. The supply only is shrinking. So keep that in mind. There is always that 1% chance because Valve are God. Valve can do whatever they want with their game. They could, with that 1% chance, many years down the line, inflate the supply if they choose to. There's always that risk, guys. There's always that risk. With that in mind, we're going to move on to number 4 on my list. And number 4 is an interesting one. These are all pretty related, but number 4 is also discontinued. And I'll be honest with you, you can argue, and I don't have time for a full back and forth with you guys to, like, argue 4 versus 5 versus 3. Like, these 3 are very related, so, like, the order is gonna be tough. But for my number 4, I put Operation Stickers. I put stickers here. So think of, let me give you an example. So think of Riptide stickers. Think of, like, the Great Wave sticker or the Liquid Fire sticker or, like, these. These things are very limited. They have a fixed supply that's only going down. They are consumable, meaning once you apply them, they disappear for good. You could argue that you could flip the cases in these stickers because cases has that RNG, that gambling aspect. Meanwhile, stickers don't necessarily have RNG. Like, there's no thrill of applying stickers, necessarily. I guess. I mean, people do like to craft, but, I mean... but the good news that stickers have, the leverage that these discontinued stickers have, is... You know, time is infinite, so, like, in the future, we're gonna have more and more skins added to the game. So, a year from now, 2 years from now, there may, quote, on, you know, emphasis on may, there may come a skin that has, like, a shark on it, and maybe these shark stickers that are discontinued will look good on that skin. Or, this Deadeye sticker with this fade-looking goggles, maybe it fits on a future skin, and the demand will pick up for this item. So discontinued operation stickers are pretty safe, if you ask me. And they're safe because, for all the right reasons, you know, they're stable demand, I would say. Newer skins are gonna affect, you know, the demand, either positive or negative, but generally positive. They have a limited supply, and I just don't see them. I think the reason I put it at number 4 is because I don't see them adding them again. You know what I mean? The con of investing in Operation Stickers isn't the fear or the threat of Valve reintroducing these stickers, because it just doesn't make sense for them to reintroduce them. You know, like, why would you, like, first of all, how are you going to reintroduce them? That's the first thing. You know, the event already ended. The Riptide event already ended. It's called Operation Riptide Collection, sticker collection. Like, there's no reason for them to reintroduce stickers. For what reason? Unless they give us, like, unless they give us the operation again, which has never happened, and it will very unlikely to happen, right? So the only issue I have with investing in these, and it's still a decent issue. New stickers. I'll give you an example. Liquid Fires, chat. I was a big investor in Liquid Fires. I made a decent amount of money in these. That being said, if you look at the chart, let me show you guys the chart of Liquid Fire. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I made a lot of money on the way up, but take a guess. What happened, especially over here? Boom. This thing just collapsed. What ended up happening around, when was this? October, November? This huge dip. What ended up happening, this huge crater, was the supply shock or the demand shock that came with the armory, and in particular, the elemental stickers. So these stickers, especially these fires, flames, purple lightning, these things are sort of like the Liquid Fire. You know what I mean, chat? Like they're that same type of elemental looking design. Now, obviously, it's not the same exact liquid flame, blue flame, but it definitely took some demand away from this discontinued item. So you could argue whether or not it was stable or not, but I'm basing it off of the fact that in the future, there's still going to be new skins added to the game where the Liquid Fire sticker looks really good, and there's still going to be people that want to craft with this particular sticker as opposed to like maybe a slightly different, newer version of the sticker that maybe is cheaper. People will still probably want this, and investing in it, especially when it's down and when the price is low, will set you up nicely for that, you know, spike in demand. So again, you can argue the semantics. You can argue if it should be 4 or it should be 5. I'm just putting it at 4 right now, but you guys can argue amongst yourselves. I think it's pretty safe long term, especially during the event. It's very, very safe. Whenever an operation occurs, whenever there's an event similar to the armory, buying the stickers at their lowest point on the chart when the prices were at their absolute bottom. If you look at the chart here, this was during the event. Shattered Web ended in 2022, and look at that steady, beautiful increase. And then obviously, you know, Counter-Strike 2, and it just swelled up and up and up. So as you can see here, you could have made a pretty nice 10x here. Is it a 10x? Actually, it's more like 100x low-key, but in any event, you should always be investing in limited edition items that eventually get removed, items that will be discontinued and in the future will fit this criteria. And that's why I think, yeah, discontinued operation stickers are pretty safe long-term bets to make money and to invest in. Number 3 is a pretty good one, very similar. It's again has to do with discontinued, but in my opinion, these are top tier. Discontinued operation skin collections. So these are the creme de la creme. These are the gods and monsters skins, the Icarus Fells, the Poseidons, the Medusas. These are the light blues, the mil specs of these collections that, you know, don't get recycled, don't get reintroduced every year in operations. These are your Dragon Lores, your Knights. Every time Sparkles does a trade-up video for a Dragon Lore, or somebody in China, some rich billionaire in China does a Dragon Lore trade-up, your M4A1S Knight increases in value the moment he presses the trade-up contract button. So, like, these items get consumed, and obviously, you know, there's heavy demand for an iconic skin like a Dragon Lore. So think about these types of items as long-term stable investments. Discontinued operation collection skins. It could be any. It could be light blues. It could be the high tier ones. You know, the Dragon Lores. You know, the Chalices. Especially on any dips, I would be buying. I would be buying these items long-term. If you see dips in any of these types of discontinued collections, I would be buying. So number 3, discontinued operation skins are high tier. You can't beat them. There is very, very low likelihood that they're going to reintroduce the Cobblestone collection. Actually, I can tell you it's pretty much practically zero. There's no way they're going to add Armory 2, you know, a second Armory pass, and they give us Dragon Lore again. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. It's been over, I want to say, what is it, it's been over 6 years since they retired this collection. since like Shattered Web. And then they retired Gungnir after a year. They retired the Norse collection after a year. Then they gave us Broken Fang with, you know, Havoc and the Op Fade and everything. Then they retired those collections and gave us another operation. And then they took a 3-year break, and then now they gave us these armory items. They're going to do the same. They're going to recycle these collections that we have now in game. They're going to replace them with something different, something fresh. So now is the time to be buying these limited edition items, skins, collections when prices are low. Obviously, there's no rush because we don't know how long this event will last. So my advice to you is to start nibbling once a month, buy a couple. I don't know your financial situation, but what I'm personally doing is I'm, you know, depositing a couple $100 every month, and I'm just buying a bunch of, you know, skins from these collections, the light blues, and maybe some gallery cases, picking up every month, and I'm calling that my investment over the next several months until the armory event ends. So yeah, number 3, discontinued operation skin collections, very, very safe, long-term, good investments. Number 2 and number 1 are very, very interesting, chat. I have some pretty interesting things to talk about these. So on my list, I put number 2 safest investment. Man, I might get some haters for this, but I'm gonna put number 2. I'm gonna put. I'm biased. I'm so biased, bro. I'm gonna put Cobblestone packages, Cobblestone souvenir packages. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I put it number 2 and not number 1. The reason I put Cobblestone souvenir packages, well, first of all, Cobblestone souvenir packages, ladies and gentlemen, are these very, very old souvenir packages that were dropped during a few majors, a couple of years, when Cobblestone, the map, was still in competitive play, when the pros were still playing that map. They have since removed Cobblestone from the game, from the competitive map pool, so now it's impossible to get Cobblestone souvenir packages. And if you look at the price of these containers, you'll see that they are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, obviously, they do fluctuate, but, I mean, like, these things from a long-term collector perspective, these things are very, very valuable. Like, they fit a lot of the criteria. They're discontinued pretty much indefinitely. They are limited supply. They're shrinking. I believe Arrow, the Twitch streamer, like, unboxed a simple souvenir package yesterday. So the circulating supply of the Cobblestone is shrinking every single day or every single week or however many are left. There's not many left. They have pretty stable demand because, you know, these packages contain the dragon lore. These things are, like, coveted. People love, when they hear Cobblestone souvenir packages, especially openings, people, like, are, you know, glued to the screen. Like, there's eyeballs involved, you know, there's a lot of views on videos and such on YouTube on these types of openings. So demand is very, very stable, I would say. The reason I put it at number 2 and not number 1 is not because I think that Cobblestone has a chance of being reintroduced into the game next year or in the next couple of years. While there's always a chance, there is always a chance of them bringing back Cobblestone as a map. There's always a chance of that happening. That's not the reason why I'm afraid. The only reason I put him number 2 is because if they do reintroduce Cobblestone, there is a small chance that they update the collection with a newer version of the Dragon Lore, a new AWP skin that is superior to the Op Dragon Lore and takes demand away from the Dragon Lore and takes the thrill away from, you know, the novelty of opening Cobblestone souvenir packages. These things will always have limited supply. They will always be discontinued. This collection, these old 2014, 2015 type packages, they're always gonna have that, you know, rarity factor, that collector factor, that old collection factor. They're always gonna be expensive and rare. That's why they're number 2 on my list. They're safe. But there's always that small chance that they give us a new Cobblestone with a new collection that takes the glory away from the Dragon Lore and, you know, everybody, you know, and then depresses the prices a bit. I don't think it's something to be terribly concerned, But if you put all your money into Cobblestone packages and then and then it actually happens the next year and then you lose like 20% or 15%, that could sting because these things are expensive. So if you're buying Cobblestone packages today, like, you don't want Cobblestone to ever come back. Like, ever. And there's always that chance, which is why I'm putting it at number 2. That being said, though, they're very, very safe, in my opinion. I think that they're really, really good. People love them, and if you have a Cobblestone package, I would not be a seller. I would definitely not open it. I would hold it, especially if you have a very nice player autograph on it. If you have, like, Pasha Biceps, JW, Kenny S. If you have Simple, do not sell that. That is rare, worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So, yeah, Cobblestone packages, number 2. And then, obviously, number 1... I have to go with Kato 14, and again, it's not, you know, big surprise, whoop-de-doo, you know, crickets, like, wow, like, you guys probably seen it coming. Kato 14, in my opinion, is very, very safe. The souvenir, or not the souvenir, the Cobblestone, container that contains these stickers, while it does fluctuate in price, you know, during the peak last year, it was worth, I think, 30,000 or around 30,000. Now it's dropped to 20,000. So yes, it did go down a bit. But the beauty of these things is that, like, there's just so few of them left. I think there's only like 200 left, and people still open them every year. Not many, but very, like, there are still few of them that do get opened every year, and the supply is slowly shrinking. So if you own a Kato capsule 14, like, just understand that every year that goes by, your capsules, from a collector standpoint, are just more valuable. Just every year, they're becoming more and more valuable. Every time Onipixel opens a Ninjas in Pajamas paper, like, your sticker or your capsules are worth just a little bit more. There's not many left. I'd be willing to bet, like, there's probably only, like, a handful of Titan Hollows remaining to be unboxed, or iBuyPower Hollows, like, remaining. Out of the remaining supply, there's probably, like, 4 or 5, maybe not even, maybe like 2 or 3, honestly, like, left to be unboxed, and that's it. And once they're gone for good. And then these Reason Hollows and these iBuyPower Hollows and these Titan Hollows are gonna be just super, super ultra rare. Like, they're literally the best. Like, these logos are just so good. These stickers are so good. So I had to put them in number 1. They're very, very safe. If you buy a Kato capsule, especially on a dip, you're buying into something like an NFT or like a Bitcoin, but, like, it's just super, super rare. It's like it's the original NFT. These capsules are the original Bitcoin. They're the original, like just such a very nice asset class that is deflationary in nature, and there's 0% chance that they're going to reintroduce Kato 14. There is no chance that they're going to ever add them into the store. New ones are never going to get printed. Supply can only go down, and there's always hype and demand surrounding them. So that's my top 5 list, chat. What do you guys think? Were you surprised? Did you expect this? Obviously, you know, if you've been following my streams and my videos, you guys should probably know most of this, but I just wanted to give this list to maybe, if you're, you know, newer to the scene, a newer investor, maybe you're not too familiar with this, but yeah, Katowice 2014 is number 1. So with that being said, let me do some Q&A right now, and let's talk to you guys. What should I spend 100% of my money on? I would spend 100%, well, first of all, here's the thing, like, you can do whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you exactly what to do. Like, this is not financial advice. It's just what I would do. If I had, like, infinite amount of money, I'd be dumping it into Armory. I'd be dumping some of it into cases, into, like older cases, rare drop cases, gallery cases, and Armory items. I made videos recently on all those topics. Highly recommend you watch them. Hey, Fano, what do you think about the 2013 souvenirs? There's not many of them at all, and they are the first real stickers. That's another great example. Let me show you guys what he's talking about. So the DreamHack 2013 major was the first Counter-Strike major, Counter-Strike Global Offensive major ever. The supply, or the price, isn't as high as Cobblestone, but that's only because it doesn't have that demand. Cobblestone has that huge demand because of the Dragon Lore. If it didn't have a Dragon Lore, it wouldn't have that same demand. It would be around, it'd be around the same price as this thing right here, because this thing has ultra low supply. Like, this thing is super, super low. The items that you can get in it are but ugly. They are disgusting. They have very, very bad collections in here, but they're a collector's item. That's why it's so expensive, because so few players played in 2013 when these things dropped. There were so few left over the years. People unboxed them, and yeah, these things are very, very, very rare, but there's just not a whole lot of demand because it's not as popular as the Dragon Lure. So what I would recommend is if you have one, I would still hold on to it, but just know that you're not going to make a whole lot of money from it. It's more of like a place to like store value, and it probably will inflate over time, like rise in price, keep up with inflation. But I'd still prefer Cobblestone packages, man. I still prefer Cobblestone. Like, if you're gonna put $900, like, why not put it into Cobblestone packages? Why not spend a little extra money into Cobblestone? Yes, the supply is higher, but the demand is also higher. So and look at that, a DreamHack 2014 is $6,000. Like, that's how rare this thing is. It has such a low supply. That's crazy, 6,000. That's insane. Yeah, I would not be buying it for 6,000. If if anybody's watching this and wants to invest in Cobblestone, like, buy like some of the cheaper ones. No need to buy like these old ones that are super, super expensive. What are your thoughts on Cologne 2014 Legends? I mean, I would say like they're probably like number 6 on my list. Number 6, or like an honorable mention, would be the old major tournament capsules and stickers pre 2020 RMR. Like, before RMR 2020, like, some of, like, not all, but some of those majors that have high demand, that have low supply, I'm thinking, like, yeah, Cologne 2014, I'm thinking DreamHack 2014 stickers and capsules, I'm thinking Kato 15. These are all fair game. These are all pretty safe, in my opinion. These are all, like, shrinking supply. There's no chance that they ever get reintroduced, re-added to the game, and, yeah, like, especially some of these, like, really obscure ones that have very unique designs and shapes, I would be an investor in them. Yeah, absolutely. What about the Vulcan Fano? Vulcan it's not a discontinued skin, but it's also, I'm gonna give it, like, number 7. Honorable mention would be old rare drop case skins like AK Vulcans, AK Fire Serpents, stuff like that. Serpents, Op, Lightning Strikes, like these old, super, like, prehistoric type skins. I would say, yeah, they deserve an honorable mention. You can invest in them. The problem is they are volatile. And the reason I put an AK, not fuel injector, an AK Vulcan on my thumbnail is they're volatile. And they're not as safe as, like, these. And what I mean by that is, I'll prove it to you. I'll show you. Like, if we pull up a chart of an AK Vulcan, for example, like, if you look at a chart of a Vulcan, like, these things are volatile. Like, look at this. Like, 2022, they were $400. 2020, end of 2022, they went up to $600. Then CS2 hype ensued, and it went up to $1,000. Then it went down to $720. Then it went up to like $900. Then it went down to like $550. Then it went up to $650. Then it's been going up and up and up ever since. So these things are volatile. The trick with these is to, like, buy them when they're, like, low, when the price has dipped. That is when you buy. When there's a huge dip, you buy. Then you sell at when it rises. When there's a huge dip, you buy. Then when it starts rising, you sell. These things are great play skins. Like these types of, like, case skins, they're good, but I wouldn't put, like, the bulk of your investment money into them. You know what I mean? Like, these things are good at, like, there's value in them as, like, a play skin investment, but there's not, like, long-term value where you're gonna be buying dozens of them. Like, I would not recommend you buy like 100 AK Vulcans. That's probably not a smart idea. Like, you'd make way more money if you invest that same amount of money into, like, gallery cases, or, you know, skins from the Overpass collection, like the new Overpass collection or the Sport and Field collection or whatever. Keep that in mind. What about old banned accounts that will never be able to trade again after their ban expires? Won't that increase the supply of Cato 14? Is that 100% fact, like proven that they're going to be unbanned at an exact date? And if so, what's the, like, how many accounts are there? And how many are still retrievable? How many people are still active or know about it? Like I get your concern, but it's still just very low demand. Because you have to understand, not very low demand, but like you have to understand it's not going to affect the demand. Yes, it's going to affect the supply, but hear me out. As soon as Cato 14 capsules drop 10, 20, 30%, people are going to start opening them more frequently. For the headline, for the YouTube videos, for the clout, for the attention. More and more streamers are going to open it and pump the prices back up when the supply goes back down. So, in my opinion, like, yeah, it may temporarily shock the price a little bit, and it may not be quote-unquote safe to be number one, but that demand is just still super strong that I think that people are just going to buy the dip and start opening them again, and you know, that increase in supply is going to be minuscule. Vulcan doesn't look like that stunning in my opinion. It's just a psychological factor that keeps the price up. That's fair enough. Do you think that there is some potential in the AK case hardened, not the rare patterns? Nah, I'd stay away from it, honestly. Case hardened is a good case skin. It's old. It's a good play skin. But you buy one as a play skin, and that's it. You don't buy anything else. You don't buy more of them. Is the Night Heist Desert Eagle part of the Operation skins? Yeah, so what you do is you go here and you type Night Heist, right? So let's search up the Night Heist, right? So Night Heist is from, where does it say the collection? It's from the Havoc collection. So if you click Havoc collection, so this was introducing Operation Broken Fang. So yes, this was a Operation discontinued collection as part of Broken Fang. It's gone for good. Buying any of these items is probably a smart decision long term because they're deflationary. The supply is only going down as more of them get consumed in trade-ups, and yeah, the supply is going down. What do you invest with $100? With $100, I'm probably buying a bunch of gallery cases, or I'm probably buying a bunch of the light blues from the graphic collection. I'm buying a bunch of these skins in field-tested flavor, minimal wear, field-tested, and just buy a bunch and just hold. Just hold and hold and hold. The only problem is, when do you buy? Do you buy now? Do you buy some later? It's only $100, so I would say if you really, really don't have a lot of money to spend, what I recommend is you split that up into increments, like $50 one month, the second month, another $50. That way, if the price dips, you at least have something invested, and you can dollar cost average. Or if the price goes higher, you have something invested, and you know, you dollar cost average up or down. So you don't leave, the ship doesn't leave without you, basically. You always say light blues will rise in price. Why is that? Because history is on my side, and history is a good teacher. If you look at the chart of any of these items during the event, after the, like, you know, these things just go up over time. They go up because they're discontinued, they have limited supply, shrinking supply, there's stable demand, and the stable demand for Operation Skin collections is twofold. For the high tier skins, the demand is the rarity factor. For the coverts, like D-Lores, Medusas, Poseidons, like, there's very few of them out there, and they are scarce, and they look really good. There's high demand for the coverts, for the high-tier skins. Because there's high demand for these higher-tier discontinued skins, there's going to be demand for the lower-tier, the blues, the light blues, that are going to be used in trade-ups. They're going to be burned. The light blues, or lower rarity items in these collections will be burned. And when I say burned, consumed. They will be deleted from the game when people do trade-ups for them in the future. People always do trade-ups, guys. As long as a trade-up is semi-profitable, people do trade-ups. Like, you got people 5 years, 10 years, like, into the future doing trade-ups from, like, old collections. You still have people doing, like, Cobblestone trade-ups. You still have people doing Gods and Monsters trade-ups and, like, old trade up collection trade ups. Like, people still try to do trade ups, and they do it for money, for profit. They do it to, you know, RNG, to gamble. So me, I'm not a gambler, I'm an investor. I'm going to invest in the items that have super low supply that will be consumed over time. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take several months, maybe a couple of years. But there's this really, really good here. Okay, I'm gonna leak my private Discord here, but just one second. We have great communication here in the private Discord, but I just want to show you guys something. So Mr. Corn Pal in our Discord actually gave us a very, very good very good thing. I'm gonna copy this here. Let me copy his message and paste it in here and show you guys. He actually ran the numbers. So if you look here, the AWP Gungnir from the Norse collection, this was an Operation Shattered Web skin, very, very old, right? Semi-old. It was released in 2021. The lowest price was $5,300 US. A couple of years later, it is now $11,000, a 118% increase from the lowest price that the Gungnir sold to the to the current price, right? So it increased in value. It was a good investment. 118%, stable, long-term, very good investment. Great looking skin. A lot of people want it. But look at the consumer grade from the same Norse collection. The MP7 Scorched, which looks absolutely disgusting. I'll show you a picture of it in a second. Its lowest price was pennies. It was 41 cents. And then look, in December of this year, $5. It went up 1,095%. Now, obviously, guys, you're not gonna sell all of your MP7 Scorched for $5. That is not practical. You're not gonna sell all of them for this huge of a gain. But think about it. Over the years, you sell at a 50% gain, at a 60% gain. You sell some at an 80% gain. You sell some at a 100% gain. That adds up. And the percentage is most likely gonna be higher than 118% over the years. Whether it's 1,000% or 500%, I don't care. It's still more, and it's still better, in my opinion, to invest in the lower tier skins than only the higher tier skins. You can do whatever you want. You can invest in your coverts and your Gungnirs, or you can only invest in the consumers or the light blues and the cheap ones. Or you can do a little bit of both. That's the beauty of investing. You can cover your bases and like invest in a variety of things. Let me show you guys what the Scorched looks like. This thing is very ugly. It's the MP7 Scorched from the Norse collection. It's this thing right here. Very ugly skin. But if you look at its chart, bro, if you look at its chart, you could have purchased one for like $1, and then bam, look at that. Like, just a beautiful, beautiful increase higher. And if you guys are saying, oh, this is because of the CS2 hype, like, look at before the CS2 hype. It's still, CS2 hype was 2020, wait, was it 24 or 23? Jeez, I forgot the years, bro. But it still went up quite a bit. Like, at least a 4 or 5x. So, I'm happy with it. It's a fire skin. You're just coping. What do you think about Chroma 2 cases and Chroma 3 cases? I think I made a cases video a couple of days ago. Chroma isn't on my top cases list or watch, but I do think that it will perform pretty well. I like Chroma cases. I like Spectrum cases a little bit more. What about charms as investments? I have a whole live stream about charms that I did a few days ago. Highly recommend you guys watch that live stream after this. Let me see if I can pull it up here. So yeah, you go to my YouTube channel, guys, and you click on the live tab, live. Top charms that I'm buying right now. So these are how to make money with charms. This is a very good live stream 5 days ago. Good content. Go watch this after this live stream. In fact, let me see if I can copy. I'll copy and paste the link. Go watch this live stream, guys, after. It's a great one. And yeah, that'll answer your question about that. What about major patches like the Stockholm ones? Problem with patches, they have low demand, bro. Patches are not as high of a demand as like stickers or cases or skins. So yes, they have a good supply and like shrinking deflationary supply, but like it's just, in my opinion, they're just not as good. They're good for collectors, but that's about it. If I have $100 and I want to invest that money from short time so I can sell to 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years, Armory, bro. Trust me. Armory, Armory, Armory. If you don't want to go all in on Armory, if you think everybody's going to invest in armory, and if you don't believe the hype and you don't want to risk too much, 50% into armory, 50% into cases like Spectrum cases, Horizon cases, the cases I've been talking about, or other cases that you find online and did your research. Split it up, do a little bit of armory, a little bit of cases. I think those are very good ideas into 2025. That's what I would recommend. You don't have to put all your eggs into one basket. If you want high risk, high reward, you go into armory. If you don't want high risk, you go a little bit into cases. 25 bucks into gallery cases, 25 into light blues, and then the rest into breakout cases. Breakout cases are a bit expensive. I would still prefer some cheaper cases that are like under $4, so like the Spectrums or Danger Zone cases, or like cheaper cases I would recommend. But if you really want to go with breakouts, they're fine. I just don't see them like doubling in value in the next 1 to 2 years. They'll break $10 in 1 to 2 years. I don't think they're gonna double. Meanwhile, I think Danger Zone can reach realistically $3, which would make it a 2x, more than a 2x. So again, do your homework. Take a look at different cases, different rare cases that are droppable, and yeah. I think I already answered that, Nino. I do like Chroma cases, Chroma 2s, Chroma 3s. They're all fine. They're all going to rise. I just don't think that they're going to rise more than Spectrum. But that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. Who knows, man? I prefer other cases. But Chroma's pretty good too. What do you think about Clutch case and Snakebite case? Cheap. I like the price. I'm skeptical about the demand. I'm staying away personally. And going into like cases that have knives. The only case that has gloves that I would invest in are glove cases, because they have the original gloves. That's the only one I'm interested in. Any other case that has gloves, I'm not really interested in at the moment. What do you think about anime skins like the Temukao M4? Looks pretty cool. It has like a niche, but I don't think it's a great investment. It's a case skin from a pretty new case, so I would stay away. Yes, but all cases have demand at the end of the day, especially the cheap ones. Yeah, but some cases have way more demand than others. I mean, look at the Dreams and Nightmares case. It's not even a rare drop, and it's like worth double, triple some of the other drops. So there is heavy demand for Dreams and Nightmares. Heavy demand. So yeah. All cases have demand, but some cases have way more demand than others. Danger Zone case already costs €1 at Steam right now. It rises so much right now for good reason. It should rise. It's a great case. Has old knives, low supply, has good items in it, good coverts, good knives. It's rising, bro. I think in the future it's gonna reach $3 easy. It may take a year, may take 2 years, but it's rising. In any event, guys, hopefully that makes sense, and you guys learned something today about these investments. I wanted to come on live and just talk to you guys about that. I'll probably, schedule another live stream later this week here on YouTube for another investing topic, and I'll share some more tips and tricks with you guys. If you guys found this useful, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys, if you want to see more free content about investing in skins. Also, guys, if you want to join our private Discord community and chat with Cornpal and a couple other members, get weekly newsletters, weekly, members-only videos and live streams, subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description. Exclusive Discord community. And then you can also join through the channel memberships through YouTube by clicking the join button below. Or you can continue watching for free, join our free public Discord server, and have a good time with us there. So all of that is available to you guys. I'm going to call it a day. I need to go record some videos for tomorrow and later this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, guys. Couscous, hearts in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. Have yourselves a happy rest of your day. Happy New Year to everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.